On here for Seconds Out with Oscar De La Loya McCracken. Fresh up, or not quite fresh off the debut, a few weeks removed, but good to see you. Good to see you still looking in good shape, heading towards another fight day. How's life?
Yeah, good. Stayed on it since my debut and stopped training. Obviously people know the story now. Obviously living next door to my old man, so there's no break. I've been running literally exactly the same since the debut, but everything's going really well. Debut was brilliant. Over 250 tickets sold for the debut, which was unbelievable. Support was incredible, and it was brilliant to get some rounds on them about. Need rounds. Obviously, not got a big background, so it was great to get four good rounds on them about, and take a few punches in them little gloves.
Let's not brush past the debut too quickly. Let's get into the fight day. And look, I imagine naturally there might be a little bit of nerves maybe heading towards that debut, or were you just a cool customer heading into getting the job done?
Yeah, I think nerves come because you're nervous about performing. You're never nervous to fight. Listen, if you're a fighter and you're nervous about fighting, you shouldn't be fighting. There's no fear in the fight, but it's nerves to want to put on a good show and not let yourself down and box well. So yeah, fight week, there's always nerves. And listen, a lot of fighters say, "Oh, I'm not nervous." But when you've been in as many changing rooms as we have, you see straight away that they're nervous. You can see the changes. But before the fight, and it was weird. I've been in so many changing rooms and I've watched so many fights. With my dad and my brother training boxes. It was like I'd had 10 fights before it. So walking into the ring, when I come out and all the crowd started going mad, I weren't too nervous, but. It was like I say, it was just relieving to finally do it. I wanted to do it for ages, and like we discussed last time, the only thing that stopped me from doing it is obviously my legal background and getting everything sorted that way. So to finally get in there and make my pro debut, afterwards it was just a relief that I've finally done it now and I can focus on it now. How
many from the legal background, from your legal work, came to watch your fight?
You know what? I've got to say, I must have had one of the most diverse crowds you've ever seen in your life. Obviously, I had some of my dad's old muckers following him, and they've been brilliant in supporting me as well. And then I've had doctors there, I had lawyers there, it's incredible crowd there. But yeah, so quite a few people have come support me from the legal background. You wouldn't expect it because obviously, look, it can be quite a middle class profession, and boxing is always looked at as like a middle class sport, but. Honestly, so the reception I've had from law firms and lawyers, all proper really into it. They love the name. They're all asking me, if lawyers I haven't worked with before as well, or following me now, and yeah, a lot of them seem to love it.
When it came to the actual fight, then, when you were getting advice between the rounds, from your corner, what do you feel you were able to action to help you get to your first debut victory?
Yeah, so listen, the corner's unbelievable. I've got my old man's literally trying world champion, so it's pretty mad. Obviously he's doing it because I'm his son. He probably wouldn't do it if I weren't his son, but I'm sitting back and I've got literally a world class trainer telling me exactly what to do. And then obviously got my brother. I don't trust anyone more than my brother with advice wise. So sat down and just relaxed and just tried to execute exactly what my old man wanted to do, take the centre of the ring, work behind the jab and back somebody up and go 2 phases. The kid was slippery though, man. He was getting around the ring and he was fair play to him. He was hard to pin down with, 2 or 3 shots. So that's what we've been working on now, back someone up, which I can do really well behind the jab, land that first attack and then step to the side and go with the second phase. It's because people are really tough, man, and knockout punches are so rare in this sport. People think, you take people on the pads all the time. You see people in here and they're flattening people, but when they're in there with somebody who knows how to survive and knows exactly how to get away, that's when you see who's a real puncher, because a real puncher just flatlines them anyway, regardless of thing. But to get stoppage in this sport, you got to have a high work rate for lots of punches. So just been working on that. Hopefully we'll see that in the next fight.
Yeah. So the debut came as a points win. As a debuting fighter climbing the ladder for your next fight, is it a thing for you to want to get that first stoppage, that first KO done and dusted? Is that something that's in your mind, or you're not too bothered about if it comes or not?
You can never look for it. The minute you look for it, start loading up and start missing or getting countered anyway. So you've always just got to box your way to victory. But there's certain things you can do to try and hopefully get a stoppage. But you got to just box first and listen to what the instructions are. It's an entertainment sport at the end of the day. People want to see knockouts. People want to see blood. You know that. So I'm hopefully, I'm going to start. Everyone I've ever sparred in, I've ever been in there with said, you can punch a bit. So I need to, hopefully I can start showing that.
August is the next date. What sort of opponent are you looking at? What sort of test are you looking for? What sort of activity are you looking for beyond August? What's the plan?
Yeah, so it's funny. So we're proper up. My dad's old school, man. I knew nothing about who was fighting whatsoever. I got to, when I was weighing in on the same day, I still didn't know who was fighting. I didn't have a clue. I weighed on, he went, that's who you're fighting. So I imagine it will be Zaki Sam again, and I trust him 100%. So it doesn't bother me. I just turn up in a fight who's ever in front of me. I think he's dropped a few hints that this person's going to come forward and start throwing some big shots over the top. So listen, I welcome that. I welcome someone come towards me so I can land some big digs. But in terms of activity, yeah, hopefully got to focus on this, get a good win, 24th of August, put on a good show. And then I'm having my first baby with my partner. I'm having a baby boy due in November. So obviously got that to look forward to. So maybe have a fight just before November if we can. And then obviously I'll have a little bit of break then while the baby's here. Only short term until the new year comes around. And then I think we'll have a sit down and then we'll say, right, let's put a plan in place and let's see what the best way to navigate through the career is, because hopefully then I'll be 3-4-0 or something like that, and it's time to start thinking what I want to do. But I've got to get there first.
Yeah. Congratulations on Oscar De La Hoya Jr. against McCracken Jr. I imagine that's going to change quite a few things, because then you got to balance your work life, boxing life, and now parental life as well. So just anticipating that, how much do you think it will be difficult to get all those balls juggling?
Listen, a lot of people will hear what I'm doing. I'm up in the 6s and 7s o'clock in the morning running, and then go to work for a big law firm in town. People know the demands of that, and then I'm straight back in the gym on the night, and I might roll in sometimes absolute knacking. I say, right, you got 6 rounds of sparring today with people coming in who I don't know, and they want to do some damage in this gym. But I live for it and I love it, and it's difficult to juggle everything. But at the end of the day, I've got good people around me. Most boxers work anyway. Do you know what I mean? Some of them even work manual jobs all day long. So listen, I'm no exception to having to work. And then obviously having a baby. So, but look, my dad's done it all. My dad's had kids. He worked full time. He's boxed at a top level. So I've got someone there who knows exactly how, what it takes and how to do it. It's difficult. It's really demanding, but it ain't been done before, so it's history. So that's what motivated me to keep going with it. And I feel like I can do something in it. I wouldn't be in this game if I don't feel like I can do anything. And listen, it is difficult today. So some days are long, but I get on with it. And, if I approach it like I approached, like I said to you before, if I just take it every day as it comes, come up with a plan, trying hard, I know I can do something.
Do you have anyone in mind, opponent-wise, as you look to climb the ladder? Like, obviously you're starting out, but someone like yourself, very goal-orientated, someone like yourself who's achieved things outside of the sport as well, wanting to have those goals and targets in mind. Is anyone that comes to mind at all? Maybe they don't, but is there anyone?
Trying to get a call out, are you? Nah, listen, I started off and I thought I was going to be 154, trying really hard. And then on fight night, I weighed 10.7. Straight away, I'm a welterweight straight away, and I've already made championship weight. So obviously, you're looking around at 154 and then 147. It's quite a weird timing, but I don't know what you think, especially at those two weights. I think we haven't had the next crop of Olympians come through yet, and even the last crop, there've been some really successful ones, and there've also been some that weren't that successful. So it's going to be interesting to see who the next crop are coming through, because normally the way the divisions work is all the attention goes onto the Olympian, and then everybody wants to fight them to prove themselves. But off the top of my head, I can't think of a target at them sort of weights. I'm ages away. I've got to keep working hard, but I don't think there's that many big names at that weight domestically anyway, off the top of my head. But I'm miles away from calling anyone out just yet. But in terms of targets, listen, I'd love to progress towards winning, area title and onwards, and just take it from there. But it's a lot of hard work, so just got to keep my head down. Very
diplomatic answer, as I would have expected. But I've been keeping tabs with both your brother Spencer and also JK as well, and just asking about yourself. And look, they've kind of said, look, there's no bones about it. Look, we're going to take this step by step, and we'll see where we can get to. There's no kind of chasing world titles yet. We'll measure the scene as we see it. I imagine that's exactly the way that you feel in the next year and the year after as well, like take everything by step by step.
Yeah, listen, you can't be in the game as long as we've been in the game, and then seeing all the different people come through. Some you think are going to make it, some you don't. It's almost corny when you hear lads turn over and they're shouting about world titles. It's like, mate, this is a long road. You've got to take it every day as you can. Listen, I could be here now screaming and shouting about it, but that's not my style. My style is to take it every day as it comes and trying hard. There's so many people who you'd think are going to make it who don't. The ones who, I've seen basic lads though smash it, and you can't believe it. I can't fathom that they've made won European titles, British titles. How has that happened? So it's just I think it's corny when people say I'm going to win a European title, world title. I think it's nice that you've got to think you're going to be the best, but mate, we've been in it too long. I've been in it too long to start screaming and shouting on camera about aspirations. But of course, I want to go as far as I can, and I'm not putting myself through hell every single day, trying like a lunatic, working like a lunatic for no reason. I'm not mentally deranged. I'm doing it because, there is a bit of talent there, and that's what everybody says. So we'll see, let's get a few fights under my belt. Let's get some rounds under my belt, and then we'll come up with a plan.
What was your partner like when she was watching you fight?
She didn't come to the fight, Now we're old school. So when my dad fought, my uncles fought, then their partners didn't go to the fight and stuff. It's like an old school thing. I'm exactly the same. And obviously she's pregnant now, so I didn't want to be worried about her in the crowd. And obviously the next one, she's even more pregnant. So we're gonna see what happens and how she's about the next one. But I don't really want her to come to the next one, or my mum. But we'll see.
Let's go to get your thoughts on a couple of things before I let you go. First of all, at the top of the table, top of the tree, we've got a big fight to look forward to in the form of Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois finds himself as the IBF World Champion. Anthony Joshua, the veteran and the challenger as well, to Daniel Dubois' title. I wonder if you saw the interaction between the two in the face-off, where it was almost like a little bit of a flippant remark from Daniel Dubois. He said, look, we can go now. But AJ really took that as a bit of disrespect and kind of went to Dubois and had to be separated between the two. What did you think about that interaction? What did you think about the fight?
I loved the interaction. I don't know about you. I thought it was unbelievable. It was brilliant. And I loved how Dubois was just like, who are you talking to? So you're going to see, he's not going to bow down to AJ. But listen, Joshua's got lots of experience at world level, world championship rounds, and if you just look at who he's beat Povetkin, forget the Bulgarian guy I thought was another good name. These are good names, and people just completely forgot about them wins and them performances because he made it look easy, and I think he'll make this one look easy. Obviously, look, under Ben Davison, he's proper planting his feet and looking to take people out. That could backfire if someone takes him into deeper rounds. And you can see at the very, very top level that they will take him to deeper rounds. So I still think it's going to be interesting when somebody takes him into them deeper rounds with this new style that he's got. I'm planting my feet and I'm taking you out because it could backfire. But I think it will work with Dubois. I think Dubois, a good lad. He's really game. But I think he's quite open. I think you saw that in his last fight with Hrgovic. Hrgovic literally threw the kitchen sink at him, didn't he? And he couldn't budge him, and then he took him out. But I don't think you can do that with Joshua, not with how he's looked in his last year. So I'm going to say I'd be surprised if that goes past 6. I'd go Joshua knockout.
You said to me off camera you've been tuning into Seconds Out Live, and appreciate you tuning in. I've got to return the favour and tune in and watch one of your fights at some point live. But we've been discussing on the show a lot of topics, and one of the topics we've been discussing specifically is the back and forth between Joshua and Carl Froch, and why those two don't seem to like each other. Have you kept on tabs on that? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I knew this question was going to come, obviously, with Robbie training both of them.
Yeah.
Listen, Froch, I'm a massive Froch fan. Like, he's my favourite fighter ever, to be honest. So, it doesn't surprise me that he's giving his opinion. I don't know how much his opinion is influenced by what's happened between Joshua and Robbie, but he's always speaks his mind. And look, I can't analyse it too much because off the top of my head, I can't specifically remember particular quotes that have caused so much controversy because there's so many, to be fair. But I think he's given Joshua a bit of stick, hasn't he? And you know, I think he thinks he's a bit of a bully. I don't know what the hell that video was all about with, you know, the money, because Froch is loaded. So I think, you know, there's many things you could probably come at Carl Froch about, but I don't think Doe's one of them, to be honest. So that was very surprising. But yeah, it is strange. I got to say, it is strange. You know, they clearly don't like each other. But I remember going up to GB years ago, and they were both training in the same gym, and they were both like proper good pals. So it's quite surprising, really.
Last question on this, and I'll push a little bit. Is some of it born out of the loyalty that Carl Froch does have to Robert McCracken, do you feel?
I think if you're going to say that, then you'd have to suggest that would his opinion be completely different if Joshua was still with Robbie? And I recall Froch still being quite, you know, still criticising quite a lot when he was with Robbie. So I don't think it is. Obviously, most people are going to speculate about it, but he's giving his honest opinion about it, isn't he? You know, Joshua did say a few things that, you know, he probably thought was really disrespectful. So I don't know, maybe, but I'm not quite sure. But it is interesting. And listen, Froch won't stop. Froch won't stop. I mean, the idea of them two like having it off on the cobbles is just insane. Like, that's just complete ridiculous, and no one wants to see that because, you know, they're two legends. But he's just giving his opinion, and, you know, I mean, he's criticised? Is he criticising his I think he's mentioned a few, obviously getting chinned against Ruiz, hasn't he, a few times, and you know, but listen, Froch is literally the cream of the crop, in my opinion. If you look at his resume, you know, as a British fighter, there is not many up there with Carl Froch, and he fought everybody at super middleweight in the backyard, and nobody really put a dent in him either. He lost, what did he lose? 2 fights. He avenged the Kester fight, an unreal fight was at that fight, and then and the Ward. I mean, Jesus, there's no disgrace losing to Andre Ward. He's literally undefeated and one of the best super middleweights / light heavyweights you've ever seen. So he if anyone can be like as constructively you know, really criticise anybody, it's Carl Froch. You know, he deserves to be able to do that, because what he did in the sport was insane. And so, and Joshua as well. You know, Joshua was a great fighter, but Froch, you know, what Froch did was insane.
Has he got an invite to your fight?
Which one?
Oh.
Both of them. Oh yeah. Oh, listen, mate. You know, hopefully one day I get up there and I start boxing on some big shows, and, you know, if these guys end up commentating my fight or anything like that, it would be absolutely unbelievable. Froch is an absolute legend, trust me. You know, I'm one of his biggest fans. And obviously, I think, look, he started a YouTube channel, hasn't he? He's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He needs, you know, you got to get clicks. You know all about that. So, you know, maybe, you know, a couple of things he's saying is, you know, it's because he knows, you know, he might get a few more clips, but you know, it's just a sport, and everyone's got their opinion. You know, I've seen that in mine now already. You know, there's been quite a bit of coverage in, you know, local newspapers, magazines, and stuff, and online about my day. But, you know, people have their opinions; they're entitled to their opinions.
Bringing it back to yourself, people are entitled to their opinions of yourself. Any call-outs as of yet? Expecting any call-outs from anyone?
No. Listen, no. You know, I think I've been lucky. I've had loads of support since it's all got going. You know, loads of people buying tickets to the fight. Loads of people, obviously, as well. I know a lot of people in the game, and I've always tried to show support to them. You know, I've gone to loads of people. I've been involved in lots of people's careers, so, you know, I ain't a disrespectful person. So, you know, it's all good.
I'll leave the final word with yourself, Oscar. Real good conversation. Where can people find you on social media? Where can people find potential to buy tickets for your next show as well too?
Yeah, so boxing 24th of August, Holiday Inn, Birmingham Airport, same place as last time. If you fancy coming down, message me on Instagram, oscar.mccracken1, or the gym at McCracken's gym. Thanks to everyone who bought tickets last time. Thanks to everyone who's bought tickets so far, and massive thanks to my sponsors. You know, it's really difficult being a full-time pro. So I want to say massive thanks to all my sponsors.
Oscar, pleasure. Thank you so much for taking us out. All the best for your next fight.